In light of the latest wave of violence and unrest that's taking place on the Syrian coast, in your view, what seems to be the root cause that's fueling these developments in Syria?
Thank you for having me. Unfortunately, the situation we are facing in Syria now is a natural result of the political course of action that the country has taken since the fall of the Assad regime and how the transitional period has been managed by the new Syrian authorities under the leadership of the transitional president Ahmed al-Shara. The political process has been unable to be inclusive to the extent that it includes each and every segment of Syrian society. Many segments feel that they are left out among ethnic and religious minorities, primarily minorities like the Kurds in the east and the Alawites in the west in the coastal area. This is the area, of course, that has witnessed the latest wave of violence. And this exclusion has led to, and of course, in addition to admonishing the Alawite sect as being remnants of the old regime, even though they constitute about 10 to 12% of the Alawite population, of the Syrian population, of course, this has caused great disquiet and tensions within the Syrian coast, and it actually led to armed attacks undertaken by several armed groups that come from this denomination, which of course led to a backlash and a wave of retaliatory attacks that have turned into a proverbial bloodbath in the Syrian coast. So far, over 750 civilians have been massacred in cold blood within the span of less than 48 hours. And of course, this is very, very alarming because it actually signifies that Syria is on its way back to ethnic and sectarian violence.
Which kind of brings on the next idea, Dr. Osman. I mean, do you believe that what's happening right now in Syria may lead to further violence and further escalations? Because you were talking about the idea that some groups or factions within Syria feel like they've been left out of the political process. Does this mean that we could see a resurgence of the violence we've seen in the last few years?
Yes, that's a possibility unless the current Syrian government re-engages the entirety of the Syrian population, all of the factions representing the groups within Syrian society, and the political transition that is inclusive, that establishes a Syrian state based on the principles of rule of law, citizenship, and equality. However, if a state will be established on the basis of exclusion and Islamic extremism, to be completely honest with you, this form of fundamentalism, of course it will lead Syria back into a bloodier wave of unrest and internal conflict. What we have seen in the Syrian coast, this could actually escalate to become a full-fledged campaign, even genocide. I think that al-Shara is sending the right messages. He is sending conciliatory messages. The Syrian government has pledged to hold accountable all of the elements that have undertaken crimes and violations against the civilian population in the Syrian coast. I think these are the right messages. However, they need to be backed up with meaningful measures, actual reforms that can lead to a position that reflects the aspirations of the Syrian population at large.